let's get into our next segment, which we were going to be talking about Invincible for a minute. You've watched all of Invincible, correct?
Sure have.
You have.
Yep.
And you gave me something that already we're going to start negative again on Invincible. But first, we need to put in a spoiler word. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about spoilers for Invincible. So if you haven't seen it or you don't want to be spoiled, hop off. If you do want, stick around, make sure to watch it. It's super good. And there's comics out there. So I suppose it's not like a huge spoiler. There's some things that I've heard or changed. But before we get into it, one thing that's really taken off, and that has been a huge thing with Twitter, is this meme going around at the end of Invincible when Omega Man is crouching over Invincible and he's kind of doing a weird pose like this and like he's got both his arms like that. The internet is taken it by storm, have been putting on different, cut to yourself if you're laughing. You see, it's difficult, isn't it? It's a little tough.
No, but dude, that was like screen worthy, like
I know, but it needs to cut to your reaction too, you son of a bitch.
I'm laughing.
Asshole. But anyway, with that being said, I gathered everything on the internet that I could find as far as like different memes or swapping in different characters for this. So without further ado, let's cut to it. When did this happen? All right. Well, suddenly we have a mustachioed gentleman ready to talk about Invincible. So, Omega Man, you already don't like it. You already have issues with this.
What?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, I didn't like it. Okay,
why didn't you like it? What is your issue first?
Fine.
What are your issues first? I hope you have something in your mind to give me on why you didn't like what I think is the best animated part of this year.
First and foremost, let me be clear. I am burned out from superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched this with a bias with that in mind, okay?
Okay.
Second of all, the one thing that bugged me was how slow it was because it didn't get interesting till like halfway through the season.
I don't think so.
Dude.
Keep going. I'm going to research stuff. Hold on.
Here's the thing. And it felt like from the very first episode, it was trying to be like The Boys, and I haven't read the comics, but The Boys is also based off comic book, right? And I'm like, why does every superhero show now have to be like ultra violent for the sake of being ultra violent,
Okay. Here's the thing. First of all,
and I hate saying that because I love horror and I love gore. So,
you know who this is coming from, right?
Robert Kirkman,
who created
Walking Dead.
Yes. So inherently that's going to make it violent. You can concede to that.
Yes, and
very violent, and that the violence is intense and like shocking. Anytime there's a death in Walking Dead, it's shocking, and it's usually character driven that makes it more shocking.
But was this character driven?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the first episode. So it starts pretty simple. It's basically Omega Man. What is it? Omni-Man.
Omni-Man. I think it's Omni-Man.
Yeah. So he has a son and is part of like a Justice League. He's basically a Superman in this world. Basically mustachioed Superman, which I thought was hilarious.
And who is he played by?
J.K. Simmons. He's so good. I wish we had a sound effect for J.K. Simmons, but I'll just do this.
Honka, honka. Dude, that's Jim Carrey.
That's what I think of when I look at you.
Honka, honka.
With that mustache.
Oh.
But anyway, actually, it's a little bit more. The first part sounds weird. I need to cut that.
You do.
I need to cut that a little bit.
I'm surprised it's staying on, dude. I thought it was going to fall off.
I'm excited. It's cool. I've been very excited.
My mustache hair is blonde, so this is exciting. Anyways, what were you saying?
So let's talk about the cast first of all. Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons. We have heavy hitters, dude.
Those are the only
Sandra Oh from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh.
Seth Rogen. Here, I'm going to pull up more. Talk more about the first episode.
I actually didn't know Seth Rogen was in this until the last episode. Like, it was at their last conversation that they were having as characters. I'm like, oh, that sounds very familiar.
Zazie Beetz, Walter Goggins, Jillian Jacobs, Zachary Quinto, so many people. A lot, like some people, Mark
Clancy
Hamill's
Brown.
in it.
Wait, what?
Mahershala Ali's in it. There's so many people involved in this. So in this world, it's like a parallel universe. You have your 7, like from The Boys. What are these? The Globe, the people of the Globe or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Globe.
So because like there's different tiers, right? Like there's
Here's the thing. When you binge in one day, you forget certain specifics, but you can visualize it and be like, that thing, but it's tough to really describe it. The Guardians of the Globe, however.
Okay.
It's basically your Batman, your Wonder Woman, your Aquaman. That's just a fish. And they're kind of exactly what you would think, right?
Yeah, I guess. But I think what threw me off the most, what's that TV show with the guy who has like the green hair and he was like a planet? Mr. Planet, is that his name?
Maybe.
That's what that reminded me of.
Captain
honestly.
Planet?
Yeah, Captain Planet. Yeah, that's the thing that reminded me of.
Okay.
I know.
How dare you? You're so antagonistic. Okay. Anyway, it turns out Stephen Yeun, who plays Omni-Man's son, has
Mark.
superpowers, does it later in life. And Omni-Man is like, well, I didn't expect this. Now I guess we're going to have to start training you and stuff. And it's pretty uplifting. It feels positive. You have this really excellent scene where Omni-Man is describing how to fly that I loved. When he was talking about how it's like a muscle that you have to flex and release and that you have to keep the tension if you want to move a specific direction and the focus. It was really beautiful how they described that. I've never thought that the working mechanics of flight, like that makes no sense, could actually make sense.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay. You're going to be mean.
I'm not. When he's talking about flexing a muscle.
Oh my, no.
What muscle? What's the
No. The mustache got you dirty.
No, dude, I mean, serious. Is it like blowing air? That's what I'm talking about. Through whatever.
Anyway, so while they're doing this training and stuff, things are going well. Then you see a distress call has been given to the entire Guardians, and they have to go to their secret fortress or their lair. As they're in there, they're like, what's going on? Omni-Man shows up. A brutal slaughter. Like a brutal slaughter. Like my jaw dropped through that entire segment. Watching them like getting attacked the way that he took them out. And all of them are so super powered. He just can take them out with no issue.
Dude, and it was an epilogue, right? Because like the title came on the screen, or not the title, like the created by whoever, right? And
each one has kind of a post credit.
Yeah. And this was exactly that. And I'm like, oh, a teaser for the next episode. And then
it happened. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was actually messaging when I watched that. Yeah, that was a very surprising moment. Because here's the thing, dude. They put up a good fight. But he's OP.
He's OP. And I love that it's J.K. Simmons. Isn't he a great voice actor? Like, I love that he's getting more voice acting work. And he's been multiple characters in like Legend of Korra, I believe. And some other DC properties. Spider-Man, I think he's been J. Jonah Jameson in animated.
He's
got a great voice. He's so good. And again, I have to emphasize the writing and the voice acting in this is so strong that I don't get why you can't see past the superhero part. Because at the end of the day, when it's a good superhero, it's not even about superheroes, When it's a good superhero movie, it's not about superheroes.
Dude, this was exactly about superheroes, though.
Nah.
The whole season was about superheroes. It was about him trying to fit
in a sense, but it's about a relationship and an investigation, which gets headed up by this Hellboy-like character, who I thought was so cool. I loved him so much, right?
I know.
And he has to he has like a contract to be above Hell to like do these investigations and stuff. And then you have Walter Goggins, who's like S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially, like their main S.H.I.E.L.D. command. And he's watching everything. He's starting the investigation too, trying to figure out what happened to the Guardians because Omni-Man just passes out after he kills everybody. So everyone assumes somebody attacked the entire Guardians, not realizing it was Omni-Man that did it. And he's playing coy. Nobody even knows. What are you looking at?
Walter Goggins played the comb over looking.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He was really good in it too. The voice acting in this is incredible. You should have looked through some of this stuff. John Hamm is in it. Come on, man. Everybody.
Yeah.
In any case,
I just wanted to watch it to get over with because you told me to.
Yeah. Well, the big part of this now is like the family is kind of in a tough dynamic. The mom is suspicious because the Hellboy guy turns out to be able to give her some clues and hints throughout the season. And Stephen Yu's character getting training lessons from his father throughout, like learning life lessons. He's pretty tough on his son, like and almost like manipulative and narcissistic in a lot of ways towards him. The way that he tells him to treat humanity, the way that he's supposed to handle things.
It's because, we'll get to it, but at the end, it's revealed why he's trying to make him his second in command.
Oh yeah. Well, the training is to bring him in, but you don't know the full intentions. You just know that he's training him. You don't know why he killed them. That's the big what if that's the big what that you find out later on. That's your mystery box, as J.J. Abrams would say. Another J.J. that's famous. J.K. Whoops. I'm doing good at the recap, man. I'm on a fucking roll.
Let's
keep going.
You are. I'm glad you didn't ask me to start it off because I always screwed that up.
Yeah. Well, I'm helping, mustache man.
Buy some fucking merch.
Why would you? We already did it.
I know.
They don't need to know that already. I'm sorry.
Dude, but imagine buy some merch.
He gets control of the camera and he starts attacking everybody.
No. Imagine this from the mustache man from the show. You better buy some merch, son.
Omni-Man. However, so the investigation happens. There, you learn about the teen team, which is comprised of Jillian Jacobs' character. You have, if you watch Parks and Rec, Dennis Feinstein plays one of the characters as well. A couple other characters, and Stephen Yeun gets inducted into that group. And that's how he learns how to be a superhero and what to do. There's like invasions that are crazy. There's villains that are so interesting. There's one villain that's essentially a pair of two. And one keeps thinking that one is a clone and one is the original. Or they insist that they both are the original. Because this guy has a way to be able to clone himself, kill himself, clone himself again, keep doing that. He's got a replicating machine, which will play a big part into what happens later on. I forgot to mention Zachary Quinto is also a character in the teen team. He's basically a robot.
He reminded me a lot of Bender.
Basically a robot.
Basically, yeah.
When you find out what he is.
Dude, he reminded me of? He actually reminded me of like when we find out what he is. The baby in Mad Max Fury Road, like one at the end,
Oh my gosh.
That was
it. Reminded me of it kind of reminded me of Voldemort at Deathly Hallows Part 2 when he was underneath the subway. Just like a big, like if you shove steroids into that baby and it was like stuck in a glass face.
It was very incestuous looking.
Yikes. Yeah. Well, the thing that we needed to talk about the ethics of that whole situation because holy crap, there's a Hulk. And we'll talk about her character too. There's a lot of characters that we talk about because essentially the teen team takes over as the Guardians of the Globe and they have to bring in more people, induct more people. They bring in someone that used to be a member that now has abilities through an exosuit that he can do. He eventually gets his abilities back later on after getting beaten up. But they all kind of work together, but kind of don't. It's like the forming of a new Justice League after seeing a whole Justice League slaughtered, which come on, man. That's awesome.
There's a lot of characters. And what's his face? The one who cheats on that girl.
Dennis Feinstein character. That's how I'm going to fire something. Here.
Fire rod?
Rexplode. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah. Like, because like he becomes part of the new one, right?
Yeah.
And I hated him, dude. I thought he was so annoying. But then even he had his arc.
Do you know Andrew Reynolds?
No.
Okay, so he was in the Book of Mormon, the original Book of Mormon. In the Broadway show.
I've never seen the Book of Mormon.
Well, he's very cool, and he's in it, and it makes me happy as well. Let's see. So anyway, we can kind of cut into from here that the mom's pretty much knows, right? I would equate the relationship to Omni-Man and the wife to Walter White and his wife.
Yeah,
and how it just completely breaks down. The fact that they're able to do this in one season, I have to applaud the writing, the character arcs, the building of this world. It all worked so well. It worked so well for me. I felt every moment. And the fact that she was able to catch on to him after a minute, and from there, basically, she's like, "You stay away from me," right? She doesn't really play a victim either. She's a pretty well-developed character.
I was expecting her to have her own superpower, hidden power too.
No, well, when they explain what happens, that doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
But dude, imagine if he had his dad's powers, okay?
He does.
Right. Plus his mom's powers.
His mom doesn't have powers, though.
That we know of.
No, she doesn't have powers.
Watch her have powers next season.
Okay, all right. You're calling that up. So anyway, once she starts to figure it out, she has to protect the son. The son is, I think I'm skipping so much stuff. The teen team has so many things that happen in between all of this stuff during the like second to third part of the season.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of stuff that happens. I guess what we should talk about is this mini Hulk character and the robot character. We need to talk about this relationship.
It's
because I
creepy.
have questions. I don't know what I'm watching, and I'm weirded out.
Were you for it though? Like once it kind of
That's-
connected, were you for it or were you against it?
We live in a society.
I have
God.
no idea, dude. That's all I could think of. I had no idea. Maybe a little bit of that too. I'm just kidding. No, but a little bit. It was crazy. It was a crazy sci-fi ex machina type thing. So let's bring this up. Zachary Quinto's character, who's the robot, turns out isn't necessarily just a robot. He's a floating, weird, adult, mangled man. Good way to describe him? Best way to describe him?
Yeah, he reminds me of a troll on the internet.
Oh, okay. Wow. Maybe we have trolls. And if so, welcome.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
That wasn't the one I wanted. So anyway, this guy decides that he wants to get the villain that does this cloning stuff to make a replication of some DNA that he gives him. You don't realize later on that it turns out to be Rexplode's DNA.
No, you do.
You don't realize until later on.
No, because he has a scene where he touches him on the shoulder.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
ow, why'd
Okay,
you pinch
gotcha.
me or whatever.
So he gets that, and he's using that to clone something, right? And he wants to transmit his brain into that. What he kind of has to acknowledge, though, is the fact that it's not necessarily like the cloning that you would expect, right? What's the catch with this, Chaz?
It's like Snoke.
Dude, come on, more.
That's what it is.
What do you mean? So, like, Palpatine's consciousness is put into another organism.
Yeah.
Okay. And that organism and its intelligence is so good that it will not be able to distinguish from the original, which is why that question will always be brought up. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't think about this show being cool.
No, I was so blinded by the superhero.
What were you doing while you were watching this?
Watching the show?
Liar. I call your bluff, good sir. But anyway, so as they start to do all that stuff, they figure out Omni-Man is at least responsible for all of those deaths, but they can't do much with him, right? And as this is happening, they are working themselves on something where they're reanimating Goliath, I believe. No, let's make sure that we got the right person here.
Who's Goliath?
I don't think his name was Titan. He was one of the people from the original 7. I just want to make sure that I've got it right.
Oh,
I don't think I remember his
the
name,
guy who
though.
gets beheaded.
Yeah.
What was his name?
So his head's getting reattached to his body. And the minute he wakes up, he knows everything that's going on. And as he's doing this, Omni-Man is like trying to figure out how to explain this to his son. And it's pretty vulnerable. Like there's some vulnerable moments where Omni-Man is like talking to himself up in the sky, trying to figure out how he can tell his son exactly what we don't know yet. So we're still waiting to find out. Well, as he's doing that, he has to take out, I believe, this huge monster that the Nick Fury character, Walter Goggins, throws down because he wants them to start fighting. As he starts doing that and taking on that, Sandra Oh's character, the mom, is watching, and she's like, is that going to take him out? Hopefully. And Invincible shows up, and they start taking him on together. But as they're doing that, the head's getting stitched on that guy. He wakes up, he's like, and he like comes online, remembers everything, and just sprints.
What was that guy's name, though? That's going to bug me.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, they continue. He shows up. There's a huge fight between Omni-Man and him, and it's just brutal. Again, I love the violence in this. And I love the music that gets interspliced with the violence. Like the prison escape scene was one of my favorites because did you catch what music was being played and what movie it's from?
No.
So the music that was being played when the clones were escaping the prison, right?
Okay.
That was from Baby Driver, the Baby Driver soundtrack. It's Bell Bottoms and it's Run the Jewels who did a remix of it.
Dude, here's the thing.
And it was so good.
So
good.
One of my favorite things about this show is actually the music choice. And it reminded me a lot of Into the Spider-Verse.
I can see that.
Mixed in with like all the animation and cool kind of montages. You know, like I really liked that aspect.
Did you like the animation? You know what it reminded me of? Very like original Justice League or like original animated series kind of.
Yeah, it reminded
very
me,
traditional.
It reminded me of like Batman Beyond of all things.
Something like that. I thought it was really well animated, and I loved the way that again the violence whenever it would start, it's like Dragon Ball Z epic.
Yeah, it's
insane.
Yeah. I guess that's what also kind of threw me off though, because it felt so old school. I was expecting the animation to be smoother, if that makes sense.
I mean, I guess I can see that. It's tough with animation, right?
Yeah.
Because it could either enhance the story or hinder it. A lot of times, especially this year, I've watched a couple. Like there's one at Sundance that a lot of people liked called Crypto Zoo. Have you heard of it?
Nope.
Oh, it gave me a migraine. And how can you like justifiably say go see this movie if you weren't feeling any symptoms before and suddenly get washed with a migraine while you're watching it, and it's because the stop motion, the style of it just didn't work for you? I think that is great, worthy to say if somebody has an issue with the animation style, but I don't think they will because it's so traditional.
Right. There's a lot of respect with animation too, because I mean, it's like technically, I mean, it would be hand drawn back in the day, but now we have tablets and stuff. But yeah, I don't like this mustache, man.
How dare you? I love the mustache, caterpillar mustache, man.
You used to have one like this a couple of weeks ago.
I did used to have it.
Why not anymore?
Well, I'm looking at one reason why I don't have it anymore.
but you have the face for a mustache.
How dare you?
That's why I have the full beard.
We don't know that for sure. You could shave it.
I'm not shaving.
Come on. Well, in any case, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Well, he's about to kill his son, and he's like, "Oop,
whoa,
I can't do this.
Fuck you, dude! You skipped so much.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Whoa.
It was literally that's what literally happened.
Then he leaves Earth.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, were you talking about the last episode and all that?
I need to teach you how to make a meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to teach you how to make a meal.
Yeah.
So let's make a meal with this, right?
Okay.
So what we started with, they have this new guy that's taking him out. He rips him apart, right? Punches a hole straight through his heart. Just completely obliterates him. Now Stephen Yeun, Invincible, sees this and is like, I see now what my dad is. And it kind of cuts at that area, like it stops there. That's when the last episode comes in and things get crazy.
I definitely skipped a lot then.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's so many great moments. You got to remember certain lines, man. Lines stuck with me. You didn't have any lines stick with you?
No.
Wow. Okay, I'll hit you with some knowledge. So anyway, he sees this happen. They're both up in the air. It's epic, dude. It's epic like Matrix Revolutions. There's rain hitting. They're just like shocked at each other. Omni-Man is about to try to explain, but before he can, Invincible just books it. He's like, no, dude, you're crazy. And he starts punching Omni-Man in the face. He's like, wake up. There's no way this is you. You aren't my dad. And he's like, nah, it's me. And like, he's just really the voice acting. Anyway.
Yeah. The whole episode was just fighting, honestly.
Mm-mm.
Yes, it was. It was all fighting, and then we see Invincible.
You finally get the answer. You know why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, because he wants to rule the world.
No. So what it turns out to be, and we didn't tell this at the beginning, is the backstory of Omni-Man, right?
He comes from worlds.
Shut your fucking mouth. I'm gonna say it.
Oh.
Okay. So he comes.
So aggressive, man.
Okay.
Was I right? Hold on. Was I right?
No. He comes from the planet where essentially he deemed it as everybody was perfect, everybody was super, and they've already perfected everything. So there's no need to perfect anything else, right? He was sent to scout out different areas, basically be Green Lantern in a sense, like a protector, right?
Right.
You put that back on your face.
It's on my face.
I'm not going to do it if you don't have it on your face. We'll stop it right now. I'll stop all of this.
Hold on. Continue your story.
No.
Continue your story.
Put it back on.
It's on.
Good.
See, it's on.
Okay. So turns out they weren't perfect. And in fact, there was like a gladiator battle that killed half of them and left the other half as like these just super gianted out soldiers. This is a militia planet, and they only serve to invade and turn their planets into what they deem as the perfected world and the perfected type, right? He is a head general that was sent on a special mission to different worlds to do this, and his assignment is Earth. So he had to be a part of it. He had to be inside, work with it. But the timetable sped up when Invincible got his powers. That's when he realized, oh, shoot, I don't know if I want to kill this kid. I have to take care of this, start training him, then tell him when the time is right. But obviously the timetable wasn't right. As he's telling Invincible this, Invincible's like, you're crazy, dude. You're insane. I don't know why. You're not my dad. And this is my world. I cannot believe that you're exactly the opposite of what I thought you were. You were a superhero in my eyes. You're the person I love. You're my father. You taught me everything I know. Now I have no idea who you are.
So he's going to kill his own son? If he didn't get his powers,
he doesn't.
He's going
He
to kill
wants
him?
to join him. The goal now is turn my son to join me. We both can shape this world. You're a super with me. There doesn't need to be any other supers. That's why I killed the Guardians of the Globe, because it's just me and you, son.
Dude, you know what that really is?
It's crazy.
That's a Vader.
It's Vader. It's General Zod, like a twisted General Zod. It's really intriguing, and it's fascinating to see the switch, because you saw so much heart, or at least a little bit of heart in Omni-Man, and now he's so cold. And that's, again, a tribute to the voice acting, the way that he just turns like that. Stephen Yeun cannot believe any of this. Invincible, they start fighting. He's like, I'm not going to turn. And he's like, well, I'm going to kick the shit out of you then. And just starts, he's like, you want to feel what actual pain is? Do you want to see me at full force, dude? And just starts beating the crap out of Invincible. And that's, yes, where there's a lot of punching and fighting. But it's not like it's not stylized and beautiful.
No, it's beautiful. And each episode progressively gets more violent too, which I thought was interesting. But Invincible also gets more injured each episode.
Yes.
And this
Anytime
one,
the title card comes up, some blood splatters on an already splattered sign.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, how else can he be more injured in this, right?
Oh, man,
dude,
it's so brutal.
Dude.
You look away. It's animated, but because you've got this creator that knows how to write this and knows how to direct something so brutal like this, and he wrote the comics as well. So he's the creator of this thing. He's beating the crap out of him. It's so epic. He ends up, they end up fighting on top of a mountain. And that's where that meme comes in, right? Where he's basically trying to knock sense finally into him.
What's that meme again?
It's where it's called the Think Mark Think meme.
Can you reenact it?
Think here. Think Mark Think. Like that. You know? It's like that.
Okay.
And so they do that. And he poses a very valid question. You're going to be living for forever. These people. And this is what really sets off Invincible. Before that sets off the fight, he tells him what he values his mom to be. He's like, your mom is like a pet more than anything. She's going to die off quickly because we last so long. You have no idea the abilities that you have. And he's like, you call her a pet? And just full Superman. Huge fight starts up, and then the mountain cuts to that. And he's like, after 500 years, when everything that you know, when everyone you love is dead, what will you have? After beating the shit out of him, and after Stephen Yeun is looking up at him, just pathetic. Like, when they punch, it seems like there's multiple times where I feel like there's a hole punch through them, and they cut down and it's just badly bruised. But that's how insane the punches are.
Dude, I actually liked that question, like, because it puts it in perspective. Like, if you live that long, all these people are going to seem like nothing. Like, it's going to seem like yesterday by the time they blink. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, what I loved most was the answer to this, which was, I'll have you, Dad. dude, the writing in that is beautiful.
That breaks my heart.
It breaks your heart because you see this manipulative father that's been doing nothing but training this kid to take over the world. And the minute that he's rejecting it, like all he wants to do is just like get this kid on board so that he can save his life, right? But he's refusing to do it because what he values is just insects. He values is the closest things to him.
And
I love that.
Well, and you know, that's when he's like, I can't kill you.
Oh, he's furious. He's like, why are you making me do this? He screams that at one point and just blasts away off into space, far away. We have no idea where he is, right? Then eventually the people who've been kind of monitoring all of this going on, which, by the way, everyone in the world saw him rip through that superhero that reappeared again. So everybody knows Omni-Man is evil now. The entire world. There's no hiding it anymore, right? They pick up Invincible. They bring him to a hospital where his mom is. They're checking on his health and everything. The team are relatively still together, right? The Guardians of the Globe in that lair had left a huge splatter of blood on it as a reminder of what had happened to the original, right? And the big thing was you can wipe this off when you've earned it. Well, Rex Blode shows up and starts trying to wipe it off. And as he's doing that, one of them says no, but the rest start wiping it down. And that kind of symbolizes their team finally, right? And you have the evolution of the characters, which we totally still skipped. Freaking the Hulk lady and the
I know.
robot
I was going to
lady,
ask you about that. Yeah.
So the Hulk lady, right? Her thing is she can be an incredible like monster, but anytime she does, she ages a little bit, Benjamin Button style. So eventually, if she's changing so often, she'll turn into a little tiny baby, which is super fascinating. Weird when a robot suddenly likes her, but I was cool when it was a robot because I was like, robot, you know,
It's like a father right
AI.
there.
I've seen her. I'm hip. I get it. I'm down with it. But then it revealed who he was, just a soggy, rough, old man, old white pudge man. And he turns into what would be, I guess, deemed more appropriate because he's a young version of Rex Blode. And now they have a relationship.
Dude.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
I thought he was going to put himself as like a normal human and be like a father figure to her.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
We live in a society.
I don't know how to address it. I don't really know. It was weird. Like it was a step further than I anticipated. I'm fascinated by it and I'm excited to see where they go with it. And it's a WandaVision type situation, but there's an aspect that I always get a little bit like, this feels weird.
So do you think Robot's good or bad? Because we thought he was bad for a while, and then we saw what his master plan was, right? So like, or is he like in the middle?
I think overall he was good. He didn't have that as his master plan. That plan happened once she joined the team, right? She wasn't always a part of that team. She came in through the tryouts.
Sure.
So that's where that connection started. So I think that's where I had the idea because they busted the people from there. But yeah, he blasts off into space. Invincible gets recovered. And this is where we didn't address also. One of the episodes, Invader from Outer Space shows up. They think it's a huge comet, but it's just Seth Rogen. And he's like, I've come to destroy you, Blurth. And he's like, that's not us. We're Earth, you idiot.
Yep.
He's like, oh, my bad.
And then he flies off and he comes back and he's like, they all gave me a lot of crap for that.
Mm-hmm. They all gave me a lot of crap for that. And by the way, I didn't warn you about this, but there's any references the type that this person is.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I know. It's my dad. He tells him the whole story. And he's like, they don't stop. He's going to come back. You need to be ready. And I'm going to he references a council that he's going to have to report back to you. Indication of season 2.
Dude, I loved how whenever they interact, they always just pull over like a moon rock because they meet on the moon of all places.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, it's like a campfire story of just old friends catching up.
I agree. Well, do you feel any better after recapping? I feel like I turn you a little bit to liking it or appreciating more after we do recaps.
Okay, so I gave it a 2.5 out of 5, which just is like, okay, I mean, that's fine. I'll bump that to like a 3.
A 3.
3 out of 5.
Uh,
I won't rewatch the first season likely, but I'll continue watching it still.
Okay.
But that's why I gave WandaVision 2, I think.
I think I'm going to go more. I think I'm going to go probably an 8 out of 10 or 7.5 maybe if season 2 ends up not really. But this was a really strong first season. I binged it like that in one night. I went straight through.
Now let me say something. Since this is
creepy mustache.
I know. Hey, I could be somebody's dad.
You could.
So
Well,
this is a comic book. This is based off a comic book, right?
Yeah.
Like The Walking Dead was too. Walking Dead started out kind of strong. Now it's not strong.
Mm.
So if that's any indication of how this might go, sir, oof.
Well, I don't know. Amazon has an affinity for messing with Superman, and they had the audacity to actually give him a mustache in this, which I find hilarious to me. Definitely check out Invincible. I think it was a good show.
It's not bad.
I think it was good. And for animated, I love when animated movies are series and it's adult, or series or is an adult one. And they took this seriously. And yeah, let's keep going with what we have there. You know, I
was nervous, dude.
Why?
You're getting all hyped right now.
Why am I getting? What are you? Cut to you. Just cut to you.
Dude, you're getting hyped.
You
right
nervous?
now. No. It's funny because last week you failed at pranking me.
Yes, I have tried multiple times to prank you. That is true.
Is this a prank? That's why I don't know. Like I don't know what you have up your sleeve.
I don't think this is a prank. This is so here's the thing. When I talked to Chaz about the episode idea, I told him he has to wear the mustache, right? And cut to it. It's beautiful. The mustache is great. And to commemorate, I I wrote you a song. Let's get out of here. We're gonna do this to end the show.
Oh God. Okay. So
and if everyone can please sing along, this it means a lot to me.
Okay. The camera's on you now, so
well, it's got to cut to you too.
I'll cut.
I need your reactions and stuff. Let me pull up the lyrics here. So
did you write this yourself?
Ooh, that sound good?
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I did. Okay.
I've never had anybody write a song about me.
Well, I did that.
Is this Taylor Swift? Like I'm breaking up with you because you're kind of a D-bag, or is this? No. Okay. I'm excited.
I don't have to do it. I
want you to do it.
The song is called Creepy Caterpillar Mustache Face. I see Chaz sitting in a chair right there. I tell him, welcome to the show. But what's that sitting atop your lip? I'm gonna flip. He tells me, do I like it?
Do you like it?
I say, I like what? That creepy caterpillar mustache face. That creepy caterpillar mustache face. I know I said we try it, but I regret we shouldn't have done this. This was a big mistake.
This was your idea.
But I know it was my idea, but we tried. That creepy caterpillar mustache face. Cut wide, baby.
Dude.
Check out our shit.
How long did it take you to write that?
We got to end it.
How long did it take you to write that?
Thank you for joining.